Salamta Tenestanin, royal family. Let me ask you, what do you know about the Red Terror of the Derg regime under Colonel Mengistu Haile Mariam? Well, we had an official visit to the Red Terror Martyrs Memorial Museum, and trust me, you're going to want to see what we saw inside. Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of Astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its maker has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. Yes, royal family, what a joy. We glorify Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Of course, we give thanks you're with us in the Tiger's Nest. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you, supping on some of the best. I'm talking about the highest grade from the rock churches of Lalibela. Of course, we are reporting to you live and direct from Abyssinia. We're talking about the crown head, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And of course, we are still in the midst of the mission to Ethiopia. And of course, those of you who are following us from all the different angles, you know that we would have done a lot of works in the diplomatic level, on the business level as well. And right now we are on the fact-finding level. So we are definitely doing a lot of searching and researching and even learning while we are edifying even the Ethiopians. But family, before we go into the depths of the subject area this evening, let me first of all remind everyone this is time for you to subscribe. Yes, to the ambassador's pen, but I'm talking about more so the Tiger's Nest. Royal family, the new season for the Tiger's Nest is already on the way. So if you are not a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest, I am encouraging you to subscribe to the Tiger's Nest. And of course, you know, you will receive that program every evening after it has been recorded. So make sure you stay up to speed with all the information, all the vibration, all the knowledge, the biology, the physics, the ancient astronomy by subscribing to the Tiger's Nest. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Tiger's Nest is produced. So if you don't see us on Instagram, you're not hearing nothing on Facebook, or you're waiting for us to come to YouTube to have a lengthy discussion, keep in mind that the Tiger's Nest comes out every evening. And remember, the Tiger's Nest is designed as a classroom environment. So definitely every evening it is a subject area that we're putting on the board. So when we are done, you can say, all right, this deserves an exam. Yes, the sort of information we bring to the Tiger's Nest. So those of you who are already subscribers to the Tiger's Nest, you know we appreciate love you so much because you understand the value of our research and the value of how we have to even collaborate the information to bring it to you, and time and so many other things to bring a quality program that is shared throughout other mediums. I'm talking about the Tiger's Nest. Now, remember, the Tiger's Nest is only $20 per month. And remember, every evening you're getting the Tiger's Nest, and you have special offers where you could get an annual subscription for only $150. I'm talking about the Tiger's Nest radio program. So, you know, everything is Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. So your PayPal, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Zelle, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Even your email, the Cash App, pardon me, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And of course, let me also encourage those of you who are business minded, business entrepreneurs. Remember the upcoming edition of the Ambassador's Pen. Very important. The world will be reading this one. And of course, as you know, again, we are here in Ethiopia at Addis Ababa, just coming off of the two mighty summits, the African Union CARICOM Summit, and of course, the African Climate Summit. And that is why I said to you, a lot of the diplomatic agenda that we had, we would have definitely fulfilled such, but the diplomatic work never comes to an end. Let me tell you that for sure. Of course, the business work doesn't come to an end, but right now we are strongly on the fact-finding mission where we are visiting some of the key sites, the palaces, the museums, and of course, even we have, you know, in our tradition to visit Shashamane, and of course the southern region, and so many different things, but we will be keeping you up to speed. So again, the Ambassador's Pen for sure will be highlighting a lot of what we are doing as it relates to the mission in Ethiopia. But keep in mind that we would have exposed our magazine, as we told you we would have, to many delegates and diplomats and ambassadors and the common folk that we would have met at the two summits that we would have attended. So for sure, people in Kenya, my new friends from the Sudan and Ghana, even people here from Europe, people were there from the UK, you know, as it relates to the African Climate Summit. And many of them are now subscribers to the magazine. So the audience just continues to grow. So definitely, if you want more eyeballs on your business, I encourage you to advertise with the upcoming Ambassador's Pen. And remember, with the 50% off, you can definitely get down to a half page for only 500 Eastern Caribbean dollars. Some of you may not know that language. That's about 185 US. 185 US, you could get a vivid article or a vivid ad, I should say, in the next edition of the Ambassador's Pen. And the deadline for that offer is Friday, the 19th of September. So, family, again, you know how to make those payments. And as I say to you all the time, family, you ain't going to see no difference here. I'm encouraging business. I'm encouraging in those of you who are even rising in this culture, you got to be business minded, not begging minded. You got to have something to offer, something to put on the table. Our father taught us that we are not beggars nor jobbers. We are the masters of the universe. So we create and we form. That's why when it comes to the Sabbath day, when the Most High went into the Sabbath rest, it was after he created the stars. It was after he created the moons and the grassland and the savannah and man and woman. And then he took a rest. He didn't do nothing all week long and then say he gonna hold Sabbath. That's impossible. So we have to be creators, royal family, not just following people that say, hey, listen, you're fired. I mean, come on. You got to be able to run your own program at least, create your empire. And that is what we should be doing, yes, individually, but as a unit. But anyway, let me highlight again, whether it's PayPal or Cash App or the Zelle, you could definitely reach out to us. Everything is Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com and let me know that you want to advertise with the ambassador's pen, or let me know if you want to be a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest. And even before I go into the depths of the program this evening, as I said, I paid a visit to the Red Terror Memorial Museum. This is not the Red Terror Memorial Museum here. I just decided to show you this photo, which I quite admire. I took this photo on the balcony of the throne room of Negusa Nagas Haile Selassie I. Now, this is in Unity Park. This is not the palace of 1930 and four that became the Addis Ababa University. No, I showed you some pictures as it relates to that. I think it was previous evening, and I will be giving you a more in-depth report or tour of the palace that became the university. This is not it. This is not the Grand Palace neither, but this is the throne room. This is also within Unity Park, not too far from Menelik's palace and even Menelik's banquet room. So in the near future, I will be highlighting all of that for you, but I just decided to show you this one here that I must say I quite delighted. But the Red Terror Martyrs Memorial Museum. How many of you know the history of this Red Terror? Considered to be one of the worst genocide that ever took place on the continent of Africa. This is where we are, royal family, in the land of Ethiopia, where this history is stained in blood. The great monarchy, the Solomonic dynasty, according to the history, was brought to a halt on the 12th of September, just a few days ago. In fact, this very same day when I was standing on the balcony of the throne room, the 12th of September 1974, which would have been 51 years ago, when the Red Terror really began, when the Derg came into power. At that time, Colonel Mengistu was not yet the spearhead as such, but within no time, Colonel Mengistu Haile Mariam became the obvious leader of this communist regime, Marxist regime known as the Derg. And the Derg brought terror to Ethiopia. The people even today recall the terror, those who are obviously around, that the Derg would have brought. And when we went through the museum, I must say, in the same way you see it's gray outside, there was this gray sort of dark feeling inside. I'm not too sure if they purposely set it in that way for you to experience that sort of feeling. but that is the energy that you get. There's even a specific, very faint scent of death, really. And maybe that might be all what's playing on your mind, but it's more than the mind. Remember, there are artifacts in there, there are items in there that clearly signify death, and I will show you exactly what I mean. So, outside of the walls that were plastered with the thousands of people that Colonel Mengistu would have taken out, himself and his regime, and some of the documents that he would have signed himself to go and slaughter the civilians. There you see a good brother standing in front of a portrait there when you could say it all began again the morning of September 12th, 1974, when the emperor told these fellas, we will stop here. And they led him away into the Volkswagen, that is. And of course, that was it. The monarchy came to an halt, and it was a new day, or maybe a new night in Ethiopia, the beginning again of the Red Terror. Ethiopia is an interesting place, an interesting country, a country that has a cram, somewhat different levels of history within a short period of time. A people who obviously would have gone through a trauma, a level of trauma, traumatized, I should say, because of, for example, the years of the Derg, going through the whole 80s. That's why there was this united front amongst the different factions in Ethiopia that could have risen up to take down Mr. Mengistu and his crew. But then again, you see, after that, there remained that division amongst ethnic groups. And even according to the head of the Crown Council, one Prince Hermes Sahale Selassie, he clearly said that he believes that it is the regime of the Derg that brought in this so-called self-determination, the Marxist, somewhat ethnic cleansing and ethnic superiority that remains up to this day. This room was a shocker for me. Although I would have seen it on documentaries, when I walked into this, I said, okay, this is serious. Bones, remains of individuals that were slaughtered. You see them there, clear as crystal in the background. You have skulls and what you call these femur and fibia and patella and hip bones and all the bones of individuals that they dug up. These are the remains of clothes of individuals again that were dug up, that they found in mass graves, and these were taken from the bones. So these were the clothes that were covering the bones that they dug up in the mass graves. And you have other items, monuments, specific vehicles that they highlight that were used in the whole aspect of the Red Terror. You also see an example of how they would have treated individuals that I guess they just didn't like, people that they needed to arrest, people that were not doing what they wanted to do. All this, they just were hungry to kill people. So this was one of the methods of torture that Mengistu and the Derg would have carried out on the civilians of Ethiopia. And there you have another of one of the vehicles that were utilized in the Red Terror. And again, you have a statue of individuals, girls or women, sisters, really crying out and mourning, lamenting, saying the words that you would hear echoed from the Jewish Holocaust remembrance. Never again, never again. So when you really look at it, and I saw a list of names. I wonder if I have them here for you. And even these photographs of those that were killed. The way they speak of Haile Selassie the First and him being this great tyrant and all of that stuff. There's no way, nowhere, I should say, in history you find any memorial showing that the King of Kings would have dealt in any way like this with anyone at all as it relates to in his regime or his time as King of Kings. You also have a few other portraits on the wall highlighting the same time frame of Mengistu and the Derg. Again, also showing to you the authoritative hand that Colonel Mengistu had on the people. This is just some portraits. This, I think, is the 80th birthday celebration of Haile Selassie that the propaganda um, community loves to highlight. You know, they like to highlight when the king was celebrating his 80th birthday. Have you ever seen that video? The king blowed almost all the candles with one blow. An 80-year-old man, all the candles just blow one time. But you see, they would have coupled that picture of banquet and celebration with the famine and the starving people that were in other parts of Ethiopia, and they merged them together, and they would strike up anger in the minds and the hearts of not just the people of Ethiopia, but even the world, with their propaganda machinery, trying to make it look as if the emperor was having a celebration feeding lions and dogs purposely while the people in Ethiopia were starving. But we would have covered all of that, cleared up all of that madness already. And of course, we know for sure that is just a part of propaganda city. In fact, a lot of that has come out today to be nothing but, as I just said, propaganda for sure. So again, royal family, this is the Red Terror Martyrs Memorial Museum. Again, we would have taken a moment to pass through the halls of it. And we do have a few more items, videos that we actually took inside. But again, we have other programs to do. We have other reports that we have to present, digital reports, video reports, documentaries. As I said, we are still on the mission. We are still doing the fact-finding aspect of the mission. We have interviews to do. We're still going to conduct business while we're here in Addis Ababa, while we're here in Ethiopia. We're still going to conduct, pardon me, our diplomacy as it is to reaching out to ministers of agriculture, ministry of tourism, ministry of culture. There's a lot to be done as it relates to our liberation as a people. And I'm just doing what I know I have to do. I can't be looking at another man or another woman to see what they're doing and be waiting on the crowd. I got to move on. My beard is getting gray, so I got to make sure I do the mandate of the Father and the Mother of creation that sent me forward. Jah Rastafari. So, royal family, I'm just encouraging you once again to subscribe to the Tiger's Nest. Make sure you get the Tiger's Nest next. Yeah, because the new season is definitely here. As I said, it's only $20 per month, and everyone knows that the Tiger's Nest assists the work that we are doing, much more that we are deep into the mission in Ethiopia, not the mission to Ethiopia now. We are here. It's the mission in Ethiopia. Definitely, Royal Family, just contact us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And of course, you could begin to make your payments there. And these are the links, the PayPal, the Zelle, the Cash App, even Western Union, MoneyGram, for those who even just want to make a contribution, for those who just want to make a love donation, because you understand, obviously, the work that we are doing. I think it goes without doubt that we are definitely on the mission of the King. And again, we are encouraging those of you who have business, to advertise in the ambassador's pen. Let us gel together. We are a tribe. We are one. You understand? I have a machinery here. I have a, if you want to say, a ship here. I have a compartment here that you can come and establish your business and your ads and your commercials and your ideas and your offers and your products and your services. And of course, just as that plane is taking off on the poster, it's the same way that the magazine is taking off to the rest of the world. And as I said, when you advertise with the ambassador's pen, I was saying this for months, we will be highlighting you when we go to the African summits. So said, so done. We have all the posters. You see me looking around because, I had a lot of paraphernalia around me. We printed posters, we printed the magazines, we laminated them. Our booths, we had, the different ads on the wall. People came in and took email and they took the phone numbers from some of you who advertise with us. So this is what we're all about: marketing and promotion, and encouraging the conscious community to get into business, and encourage you in growing your business, just like you encourage me. That's why you sponsor the works we do. That's why you patronize with us. That's why we offer service back to the community, because it's reciprocal. One hand cannot clap. And as a growing nation, we got to learn business. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Business Master, but I'm a master student, and you got to start there. King Emmanuel the Seventh, Adonai God, Jah Rastafari. So yes, family, if you're not advertising with the ambassador's pen, well, for sure, make sure that you subscribe to the Tiger's Nest as we definitely continue the mission. Royal family, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. I'm coming in very soon with another edition of, reporting from Ethiopia. Where will I carry you next? We visited the Battle of Ottawa's museum. We also went by the Science Museum, and we also visited the Addis Ababa Museum, and everything is museum here, isn't it? We also visited, obviously, Unity Park, and we also went to, as I said, the Palace of the King, the university, and a few other places. As you could see, we went to the Museum of Red Terror, and we still have other missions that we have to complete. So there's so much that we will have to bring to you again, so much that we have to write about, so much that we have to document in video documentaries, so much to report to our different entities. Yes, my family, we are on the battlefield. We live for this. We were born for this. We were made for this. It takes some real eyes to realize the real lives that are amongst us. Give thanks, Royal Family. I'm looking to hear from you. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks. Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of Astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its maker has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy
is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called
You know,
Egypt.
royal family, I don't usually come in here, you know. I know you must be surprised, eh? Yeah. Now this course goes for, if I'm not mistaken, is $199. This is a massive course, eh? As I said, I would have highlighted that to many individuals. As I said, different Ethiopia is known for, you know, taking on the levels of innovation and technology. Right now, I have some items to show you. Well, not the items, but pictures of the items and the automotive industry right now. I think Ethiopia would have banned all gas and diesel vehicles from coming in here. I think people have a specific time to change over to electrical, but that's just one level. As I said, the Science Museum, the Aerospace Museum, or the NASA Space Research Component. I didn't visit there, you know. But I'm just showing to you when you go to the Museum of the Battle of Adwa or some of the newer projects that have been brought forth, it's just technology and innovation and video and AI and all of that. Well, I didn't create this course with AI, but I'm telling you the quality and the innovation too and the technology and of course the knowledge within this course here is, I must say myself, superb. Well, I didn't do it myself, so I can give enough respect to those who also had their hand in it. So we give thanks. This is a production of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. But let me make the brother continue to say what he was saying.
Today, the Dogons and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com for more information.
And you see, that's the easiest thing to do, eh? And sometime I know you may need just a little push. Just email me. Just email me. Email me. No one is going to bite your hand. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And let me know, brother, how can I sign up for the ancient astronomy, rudiments of astronomy course? Yeah, and that will definitely be taken care of. Praise Farai, let the earth hear his voice. Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks.